Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
All right. Check one, check two. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming to you live and direct from Brooklyn, New York, hunkered down with my favorite sweatshirt and wool knit hat. It's rainy outside. It's looking kind of like Seattle. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm your host, Rob Cantrell. I don't know if I did that correctly. I opened these up with my own little cheesy intro with some music. I'm not calling it cheesy, it's great. The kids are using the word cheesy again. That's what I've been hearing on the streets. I've always used cheesy. Some people use cheesy as good. Some people use it as, a little too much. But I got a great episode for you today. I am drinking an excellent cup of coffee I went back to one of my favorites, which is PEET's. PEET's coffee. Great bean, great like upper echelon. It's not too snobby, but PEET's, the history is, I've talked about this, PEET's was the original Starbucks. PEET's was the San Francisco coffee, like when the coffee boom happened. I mean, the coffee boom happened in the 90s. I'm a Gen X kid, as you know. Snoop Cobain to the core. And yeah, that's what, kind of Generation X, in the 90s, was a lot of coffee. And I felt it coming. I really think that, cannabis and coffee is kind of the new cigarettes and booze. I mean, they are vices, you got to look at it that way, but you got to enjoy your vices. I got a nature program going on. I haven't tackled green screens yet. I still have been doing this in my apartment, and sometimes doing it at other people's apartment and other studios. But as we come out of COVID, I'll start doing this on the street. I have a whole idea about this, but I do like having nature going on in the background. I got a nature show for you if we're doing the visual here for the Patreon as well. Now, you can always get my audio version on Spotify, on iTunes. Like, subscribe, put it on your boys' music playlist. Let's mix it up with some good hip hop, 80s hip hop, early 90s hip hop, conscious beats, conscious lyrics, and funk, lots of funk, and some jam bands, and then throw this podcast on, the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I'm having some PEET's coffee in my favorite Brooklyn coffee mug. It has etching and writing on it that I dig. Let's see here. I know everybody goes with like a funny coffee mug, but it's like, I don't know. And then you're just seeing the joke all day. Like, this coffee is filled with cum. And you're like, ha, ha, ha. Like the first time you drink out of it. And then you're like, all right. But then the joke just wears on. That's the thing about jokes. Once you hear it once, sometimes you can hear jokes forever. And this is coming from a stand-up comedian with 20 years of experience. I don't want to brag about knowing jokes, but I do understand like the writing style and how to formulate a comedy act, and it's over time, and repetition is the only way to really get a stand-up routine. And you find like just the best nuggets of writing because they've been conditioned through hell and back. I do miss stand-up comedy. I'm fully vaxxed. Yesterday I'm team Pfizer. I don't have the J&J. I'm worried about the J&J, the blood clot. But I'm fully vaxxed, but I'm not I'm still gonna play it kind of low key. I'm still kind of into like focusing on the podcast. I don't know. Maybe I'm lazy and I just want to smoke weed and drink coffee. But I do want to go out, and the clubs are slowly opening up. I got offered to do a 420 show, but I turned it down. I've been turning kind of on-site stuff down. I know other people should. I'm just at a weird age that if I don't have to mix it up, I'm not going to mix it up. I'm going to wait, but I understand people mixing it up. Okay. What I have today is this is the Cannabis Coffee Hour, and I have a great spliff here that I rolled the other day, and I only had to have like the top portion of the spliff. So I have a nice like almost cigar. And I rolled this with some CBD flower. Actually, I'll give a shout out. I went to this great CBD store, and I was suspect, but they were, this is, sun grown, illuminate with sun made raw hemp packaged with nitrogen gas. This is CBG and CBD. This thing was expensive as fuck, man. But, it was grown outside and organic, and it had the great elements. And to tell you the truth, you open it up and you could tell these guys weren't, these are more scientists, the buds are huge, they're dried out, but they roll great. And that's what I use it for, is just to roll with the good hemp, because I did get some great cannabis. This is a hybrid San Fernando. And San Fernando, I don't know if people are doing strains, but it is a top Kush strain. So it's this. I got this. The dude knew what was up and what time it was and what time it is. It's time to fire a spliff here. So what I have is a CBD spliff with real cannabis. And then I have a great cup of coffee. And I wanted to come on and do a solo podcast, and also not lose that like style of just going on. Since I can't perform, I'm psyched about doing a solo podcast. I mean, I'm good interviewing people and stuff, but like Mark DeMeo, shout out to Mark DeMeo from the last podcast, an actual New York City police officer. I was I was nervous about posting that, running that, but cannabis is getting widely legal in New York. Like, even walking around, and I lived in California. I've been smoking my whole life, but it's people are just walking around with straight up joints, man. And to tell you the truth, I like it. Some people are like, whoa, but I do worry about driving. Like, I'm not big into people driving with cannabis. And you have to be mindful of that. So definitely enjoy your cannabis without driving a car. But I mean, everybody's got to do their thing. I'm trying to not judge and attach my ego, because judgment is what I'm learning. Like, when you judge motherfucker, you're kind of, I mean, you got to watch out for predators. We're watching this nature night video. There's a lion going after a giraffe. Oh man, I don't know. But the giraffe is beaten. It's like a tiger lion. Oh, those long legs. Like, I guess when a giraffe starts running, it's hard, like they're gonna gain so much. Oh, he hasn't given up. Oh, I'm gonna start watching this nature video. It is night and it has that night vision. So check it out up there. I love that predator. I want to do a whole movie that's all in night vision. I want to do a night vision movie. I want to be in this. That's what we're doing right now. I should just do a live podcast watching this. Oh man, now the lion gave up on the giraffe. The giraffe had too long. He's going after the hippo. Oh no. Oh dude. Oh, he's got this hippo's not. Those legs look short and stubby. Oh shit, man. Nature is wild. Protect your neck, everybody. It's wild out there. Cannabis is getting wild. Oh man, they're coming in on this thing. It's wild out there, man. Things are happening. Black Lives Matter, you know, what happened again in Minneapolis. You know, Jesus, man. That one is terrible. And, you know, I felt weird about doing Mark DeMeo and then coming and then this, you know, it's a police officer, but I didn't make it like Blue Lives Matter. I made it just like respecting New York and New York police. And we didn't even talk about any of that, defunding the police. And I don't really want to go into a political statement, but I'm kind of with Ben and Jerry on this one, man. This, you know, even just reading the thing was hard, and even making jokes this week is weird. So yeah, the protests are, you know, are happening again. And you know, it's just sad. So yeah, just you're just hearing more about defunding the police. And you know, I don't even know what that act. I do know kind of what what it's going for. But you know, just I think it needs to be more of a localized police. Yeah, the Wright shooting. I just wanted to get the name right. This younger 20-year-old man. That and the lady police officer just made a mistake. Dante Wright. I just wanted to say his name, Dante Wright, Black Lives Matter. And my heart goes out to you know, everybody right now, because it's just really complex with the Black community. And I do know you know, we have to stand up and just like see white supremacy for what it is, you know. And you know, doing the Cannabis Coffee Hour, I try not to go political, but with this, you know, I just think you know, the world is changing really fast, and we need to keep our heart and mind open and look for kinder ways to get at the negotiating table to make sure justice is served, and make sure that, you know, young Black men and women aren't getting shot in America for no good reason. You know, there has to be a level of protocol. Look at me, I'm sounding like a politician trying to talk this shit out, and all I wanted to do was do a cannabis coffee show, and I will, but I just wanted to do that. And you know, Black Lives Matter, and also, you know, give a shout out to Mark DeMeo. Is like one of the funniest human beings out there, and he was a New York City police officer, and the New York City police doesn't have the best reputation for not for anti-corruption, you know, for, you know, it's just such a big, you know, but that's like, it's like yelling at the army. But you know, with white supremacy and kind of how America's kind of set up, I think it's, you know, it's just time to take some really deep looks within ourselves. And I know I know that's what the quarantine has been doing for me, is just me just looking at some of the, you know, my past ways, and being an asshole and being a jerk and being selfish, and, you know, letting the ego run, and just being a little bit more mindful of what I'm saying. Because, you know, as a comic and as a spastic kid, you know, I've said stuff and done stuff that I've definitely regret. And but you have to, you know, you just have to look at it and not make those choices again. So it's like, you know, I'm trying to do more positive comedy in a crazy world. But I do think, you know, cannabis does, you know, it's been helping me get through the quarantine, and actually it helps me self-reflect, because it makes you not look away from some of the dark corners in your brain. but at the same time, you can get lost there. So I do think that you have to be mindful, and that's why I like CBD, um, in meditation and cannabis and coffee. All of it together. But I'm learning just like you. With all of this, I think we're all evolving and learning how to just to deal with each other. Um, and learning how to, but I know what's helping me is recognizing my ego. And it's when I attach, that's when these big concepts come up, like Black Lives Matter or gun control or politics in general. Like, you just attach yourself and you start having these arguments with people I don't see. And I definitely don't want to do it on the internet. But I put a MLK quote up yesterday on my Twitter. Follow me at Twitter. I do post clips of this show, and you can get the links to the Patreon. The Patreon's picking up. I promise you, I'm not letting go of all of this. I mean, my style is just slow increment. It's just slowly growing. But this podcast, I know, is getting better and better. Every time I do it, I learn something, even the energy level. Like right now, I know I have to pick it up a little bit, but I just wanted to talk on that. I wrote down a couple things, and I wanted to talk Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. And I definitely believe in thinking outside the box and looking at these situations and problems different. I think everybody can agree what the pandemic has shown us is that you have to pivot and move. And you got to stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Whoa, roll. That's how Rough Riders roll. DMX, I love DMX. Rest in power, DMX. That energy, whoa. Is it just me? I just had DMX lyrics just piping. I'm watching videos. I guess that was the really good 90s hip hop. That Jay-Z and him, those beats are insane. The 90s was just fucking crazy. I think they're going to look back. Everybody thinks the 80s were crazy, but I think they're going to look back and be like, whoa. Because DMX lyrics, I mean, everything's just pumped on nitro, like those beats and those horns, you just knew it was about to go down. When you hear horns, you know it's about to go down, man. And when you hear the that grunt, like I was thinking about these barks. I was looking up DMX's rap sheet, man, and I don't know, somebody tweeted it out. It was actually Stoner Celebrities. Shout out my man Steve over there that runs this website, and he used to write for Steve Bloom used to write for High Times, but he tweeted it out. So I looked at DMX's like whole rap sheet, and what's crazy, this is a crazy thing, man. His first arrest was stealing somebody's dog. I mean, he really was that dude, man. He was really, I just think it's a part of low income, just like the ghetto, just like coming out, and you need that love. And there's nothing like a dog's love. If you don't have a family or you've gone through some hard shit, and that's why they have, what are those dogs that you pet if you have a nervous problem? And that's like normal now. But back in the 80s and 90s, they didn't believe that. I mean, I literally got a dog out of a barn. Shout out my dog, Jack. I love my dog, Jack, but it was a mutt. It had everything. And somebody said it was part wolf, and it bit the mailman a couple times. But I was just a, 11-year-old, 10-year-old kid. And I found that dog and brought it home. Straight out the 80s, man. But yeah, the DMX, that soul sound, the grunt, you just knew it was just like, that's what I talk about, emotional content. And that's what I'm trying to, oh man, this coffee's good. That's emotional. I'm trying to get into, but if you want to just start off on some good coffee, get Pete's. It's at most grocery stores, I would say. You can find it, but definitely on the West Coast. But it's here in New York, and I know it's on the internet. But if you get the whole beans, I mean, I get the electric grinder, the whole beans. I really can't do it. I've almost gotten to a point where, like, even getting other people's coffee, it bums me out. Like, I end up paying like $5 to $7 for like some kind of espresso drink or something. And I know my shit at home is just as good because I just got the French press. I get the good beans. I know the fresh time. Like I've said on this podcast before, but this, we're gaining new fans every day. But anything, excuse me, anything fresh is better. It's just like you look at the roasting date. A medium roast bean, like you want to look at the roasting date. And if you get like something that's like last week or, that's when it's the best. The same thing with cannabis and growing cannabis. Like I see that just being a part of America. I know on the West Coast, it's happening more and more. I have a few friends that have like grow cannabis podcasts, and the whole cannabis movement is changing, and it's always been that way though. For me, it's just that I want like a half a joint a day and with my coffee while I do my podcast. But yeah, DMX, even Jay-Z had like nuances in performances. That's what I was kind of thinking about. Like also like James Brown's grunts and go-go music in DC. We have this music called go-go, and like literally like the rapper, but I know where like grunts need to go in songs, and the song doesn't sound you just need somebody to go, oh yeah. Even that's like it's kind of like a hype man, but it's more of on rhythm. Because James Brown, without some of those grunts or squeals, the song isn't really the song. Without the grunts. But yeah, it's just getting really fucking legal here, and I enjoy it. I've also been eating raw honeycomb. I got like 2 big plates. I think it was at Costco. We looked over, and I love honeycomb. And I got this fresh honeycomb. So you just eat it and then you chew the wax, the honey, the bee wax. And I've been doing that, but I've been doing it so much that I think I gave myself a headache. I had to calm down. That's when I start getting into honey. Like I think I have bear in me. My new thing is I just want nuts. I want some cashews. I got a big thing of cashews that I've been just crushing. And then the honeycomb, I just been taking a spoon. I just take it right out of the drawer, just like as you would do peanut butter. Just go a big spoonful when I walk through the kitchen. But I do know that wax is good for your teeth, and they got like good enzymes for your stomach that you can't really get from a lot of places. Save the bees, bro. It's all about the bees and the flowers. Because I do want to lean in on this podcast about the environment, because I do believe in global warming, and I think cannabis could be, at least just people thinking more greenly. I've been eating some kale, man. I had kale with my dinner the other night, and I can cook it right. The thing about kale is that you got to get it drunk. Kale, you got to get it. You just got to put a bunch of water and oil and cook it and cook it and cook it. Get it really soft, salt and pepper it. But once you get it down and it's really malleable, it's sort of like soft, and you could put a piece of chicken on top of that, piece of fish. But I've been eating kale. I've been eating fresh fish. What I love to do is to go to this fish market down here, and I've been getting swordfish or salmon or whatever's freshest. And I get the fish, and then I take it home, and It doesn't. My new thing is it doesn't even make the refrigerator. It goes right into the pan. You just go, because that was the best fish I've ever had. That was the best meal I ever had. Was I caught a tuna in Mexico when I was in my 20s. I went to Puerto Vallarta. A friend's family took me and the kid down. I mean, it was my friend's family's vacation, and I went with them, and we got to go tuna fishing, and I caught a tuna, and then we ate it. Like it was right out of the ocean, and they brought it into the restaurant, and they ate it. I mean, we all ate it. It was the best tuna I've ever had. It was the best piece of fish, and I still dream about that fish. It was the same thing with the best joint I ever had was this herb from Hawaii. But in San Francisco, this guy gave me this joint. I talked about it on Getting Doug with High. I'm on one of their Patreon. That show is now on a Patreon show. Shout out to all those cats. There's nothing like a good spliff, especially this is like rolled in a nice raw paper. I got a great filter on it. If there's no runs, it's burning evenly. That's why this cannabis is good, because how it burns. They always talk about like a white ash, like if your joint is rolled great and the cannabis is grounded like really fine and good. Me, I like a Jamaican just big spliff, and that's what this is. It's just a big huge spliff with a good filter, with organic sun-grown CBD as well as cannabis. And this is one of the best cup of coffees. I've been trying to really, and that's a way to find your ego, at least look at it, is when you switch to being grateful. I think the ego is all about the self, and the true person is connected to all. It's always connected to nature. Like you're always connected to these plants. We are just these animals. I'm watching oh man, some of this shit looks vicious. It's a night stalking with this fucking water buffalo, but it's fascinating. But it's not as fascinating as this CBD cannabis spliff in this coffee that I'm drinking, and eating honeycomb, and then drinking emergency and seltzer. That's a total quarantine drink. I've discovered. I do love emergency. That's my other thing, is that I always, I've always have like a thing of emergency. I like getting the case of them at Costco, and then I do that because I was eating these big emergency vitamin pills, and they were just too damn big, man. They would scratch the side of my throat. Vitamins weird me out sometimes. I like as soft and jelly as I can get. I'm just getting more, the older you get, the more nuanced and the more you feel exactly who you are. And the ego isn't you. That's just crazy ideas swirling around in your head. The actual you is, how does your stomach feel right now? How does your overall, vibration feel? Now it's cold and wintry out there, but my vibration is pretty good right now. I'm dodging a couple things and coming, I still want to go out and perform, but I'm debating just having people gather because of me. That kind of bums me out, but I will slowly get out there. I just want to see the numbers kind of get some, but I'm hearing good news. They said the economy is kind of bubbling a little bit, but maybe I need to stop watching YouTube and just keep on rolling these spliffs and drawing some spaceships. I did get to draw the last flyer. Check out the last flyer on our Instagram. We have a great Instagram. I want you to sign up, the Cannabis Coffee Hour. That's where I kind of want to lean in on a lot of my cannabis content and just do that there, and then kind of just do comedy and some other shit on the other ones. On the other one, they're like, just do stand up over there, because some people that listen to this just like it for the comedy and music talk. We're getting more musicians on, and we're gonna be out there in the street very soon sampling more coffee. But till then, I don't mind watching this nature video with you and wearing a hoodie and smoking a awesome tasting spliff and drinking some bomb ass coffee and kind of working through some of these thoughts about, health. And I've been doing my 5 Tibetan rites, which are these stretches, these 5 stretches. And the thing is, I do have a CBD tincture, so I take this tincture before I go in. One thing you could do, I like to take a CBD tincture and put it underneath my tongue right before I take a shower, like a hot shower. That's a good that's a good time. That's a good shower. Um, Showers are the best, but I feel bad because I'll stand there forever, 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 ever, forever, ever, 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 ever. Sometimes you feel like you could, but then there just comes that point where you're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, sometimes in showers you're like, oh, I love it. I can stay here. I live here. And then there just comes that point where like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I got some shit to do. Can't smoke weed in here. But I have been doing those and they've been feeling good. But I've been eating more, but it's been more of like stuff I've been liking to eat. I've been eating stuff animal style. I love lettuce. I love vegetables, fresh vegetables. I love nature, man. You want the freest you could ever be is peeing outside. You could be the biggest millionaire, but having a pee out and look at this starlight here, like they had to take this in the middle of Oregon where there was nobody, or Wyoming or something, man. Those skies are like, to be out there in nature and to go for a pee. Oh man, you can't do that here. You can get arrested. I yelled at somebody that was peeing near the playground that I was at walking by. Somebody was peeing. I was like, get out of here. But sometimes I pee outside, but they were like near a weird playground situation. But yeah, you shouldn't yell at people in New York. That just happened that one time, and I regret it. And looking back, but because he was just a dude that had to pee. And lately, I've been that dude because I drink a lot of coffee, and I try to drink a lot of water. Like even today, I was like, am I feeling weird? And then I was like, no, I just been drinking that thick ass, dark ass coffee like constantly this morning. Like I haven't even drank enough. Usually I drink one sip of water, like a whole glass of water with a lime right as I get up. And that works. But and then I start drinking coffee and I forget about it because I make my smoothie and I just forget about it, and then I was like, do I feel weird? But no, you need to, so I'm always drinking water and coffee. So I guess the thing I'm saying is I really got to go to the bathroom right now. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I just had to take a pee break because I do drink, it's the cannabis coffee hour and I do get excited for it. So I always drink like almost like too much coffee. I had to make another French press for the cannabis coffee hour because I usually get psyched up for it and I end up drinking like the whole thing. And then I'm like, oh shit, I got to do the podcast. And so I make a whole other one. So all I'm saying is I was on a whole tub of, when I say tub, I'm saying this French press. It's not a glass French press. I have this wild plastic. I think this is Swedish, but I got gifted this like 5 years ago from my wife. Shout out to my wife, who I love and adore. And but it's just been working strong, and it makes a great thing of French press coffee and it has the thing. It's not metal. Like usually when you get the Bowden is like the Mercedes Benz. That's like the top of the line. I've had those and they're great, but this is actually funkier and better in a weird way. It travels better. And I usually just go through shit like all of us. Like some people have those old, I like those Italian like press coffee things that you do on the stove. I've been eyeing those up. Like you can do an espresso. I've been seeing how they do that with that. Some people just have a coffee machine. Some people rock the Keurig. Some people rock instant. You know, it's out there, man. Same as cannabis. And I just love the spliff. I love where the world is going, you know, just like in that way. I'm worried about the COVID. Like I'm fully vaxxed, but I've been hearing things like people catching it. And I know people are going outside. And right now it's like rainy and cold out. Like it's definitely like, man, you just got to, you know, be good to your body. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm vegan except for pepperoni pizza and fish and sometimes chicken fingers. But everything's chicken and I get sick of it, you know? And then hamburgers, yeah, I did say I wanted a hamburger the other day. The next hamburger I have, it's going to be bomb. Like I just going to hold off. I'm going to have like one hamburger a year. And yeah, I was just thinking about how precious life is, you know. I just want everybody just to take care. Because even a gnat, you get a gnat in your eye, a gnat could fuck up your day. That's how precious it all is, you know. But at the same time, you got to get out there and do it. Do your stretching. That's what I was thinking about. Like all these stretches is like I like non-violent karate. Because whenever you do get in your head, that's why sports are good and being active is good. But I mean, actually doing the sport, not watching. I don't know about what. I don't know. My brain just doesn't. I get it, but I haven't had time to do that. Like but I was on another podcast. I want to get a lot of those guys on. Shout out the good, the dad, and the ugly podcast. I did their Patreon, but we were talking. I was telling them about my fantasy of just going fishing and how much I want to just go Zebco fishing. And they were saying about how much they enjoy watching baseball, which is kind of just like one of those relaxing, just like, I guess, like listening to this podcast, you know, it's all about chilling. But I definitely appreciate everybody staying on and because I have a blast doing this. I do have a 420 show coming up that I can talk about. It's with this it'll be on Twitch. Um it's called Vintage Basement. Look up Vintage Basement. And it's a comedy show, a monthly comedy show by these two guitarists, singer-songwriter, comedy guitarists, twins. It's almost uh the Wine Box. They have a special, and I'm doing the 420 special. So I'm doing a set on that, and the lineup's amazing. So check them out. And hopefully I'll have maybe something else, or I'll post on here at the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Like I'm doing it once a week, but I definitely could see myself drinking more coffee and smoking more herb and talking about music, because I have been working on this project and I actually rented a studio space. I was going to finish up these two songs. You know, been working on these songs and just sticking the landing with creative stuff. Especially if with cannabis, you got to push through. And lately, I've just been really good about, like, if things don't work out perfectly, to pivot and move. Like I was supposed to have a guest on this podcast, but everybody's tired and emotionally, I'm not sure where my head's at with all of like the protests that are going on and everybody getting back out there. Like I'm just circling the wagons a little bit myself and trying to take inventory on how I want to come out. I think I don't want to come out too early, and that's what I'm kind of seeing. And I'm hearing like people are getting sick and new, variants and stuff like that. But I don't want to ride into the fear too much and still want to live my life. Because but I am really good at the quarantine. I mean, I got my sweatpants on, I got my nature videos. I love doing this podcast. Um, it's one of my favorite things in the world. And but making music is as well. And that project's going great, but I rented the studio space and the soundboard was all fucked up. Like, it was just it didn't work out. But we rescheduled it. Thank God everybody was cool and the situation was great. So I have another date to try to knock out and promote. And just that's what I'm trying to figure out is doing the artwork on that. I'm doing better artwork for this and getting merch for the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Because the logo, I love our grasshopper. I think it's awesome. And I love I'm gonna upgrade it and then we're gonna get it on sweatshirts, on beanies, get some t-shirts. But I want my shit to be quality, and I've been looking into hemp products. So that's kind of like the angle I would love to take it. And we'll be taking it because all that's moving forward. I promise to get more cool guests, promise to do more music, promise to smoke some more herb. Get out there in nature. I've been hiking, like I have been going. Yesterday, I just went to the park and sat down and ate a hummus by myself, cross-legged, and it was glorious. That's where I'm at. That's about as much as I've been going out, in all of this stuff, man. But I appreciate you guys listening. I'm having a good time. I want you to like and to subscribe to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. You can send me an email at contact@Rob Cantrell. I want to pay respect to DMX. I've been listening. I've been just like, yeah, his stuff has just been going. I've been washing dishes and just been singing DMX. DMX is good washing dishes music. Like washing dishes, that's all I've been doing is like and I've been loving it. That's the thing about like living, like, just going to the park and just really like getting into it, emotional content, man. Bruce Lee, shout out, stop Asian hate. Much love to my Asian brothers and sisters, my cannabis smoking Asian and brothers and sisters. I am not down with the violence. I'm not down with aggressiveness. I'm just not, especially with weed getting legal. But there are like complete piranhas out there here and there. But you got to go towards the love and we also have to stand up for each other. I guess that's where I was going with that. Stand up and be heard. Oh, there's the 45-minute mark. Okay, stop, Alexa. Stop the timer. I wanted just to do a solo one. It's not the easiest thing to sit here and talk, but I love doing it, and I get better, and I end up, bobbing and weaving and finding new comedy, and it helps me just to keep my voice going. And so when I'm on stage, and very soon, I can't wait to get back on stage. I got so many great fans. Like I got really cool fans from all over the place that I've known for a long time. And so I can't wait to get out there and bring this podcast to everybody. Because some of my fans don't want to go out to a 10 o'clock show. They want to go to a 420 show. That's what I want to do, is do a 420 show. That way we're done. We can wind it up, have a piece of cake, and at the end of the show, Post-show food is always nice. But then eating late, I've been trying not to eat after 9:30. That's my new thing. Oh, this dude, watch out for this dude. We got this X-ray lion coming at us. Exodus, movement of the people. Shout out Bob Marley. I guess like what music have I been listening to? I've been working on my own music, been playing a little bit of guitar, and I have been listening to a lot of Bob Marley, like just straight up Exodus album. Coming in from the cold. It was one of my favorite Bob Marley songs. So one love, Jamaica. Thanks for listening to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Check out Pete's Coffee, medium bang, I think is what it's called. And it's medium roast. It's dope. It's one of my favorites. All right, you're one of my favorites. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind, and let's get through this and have a joint at the end of it. Bye.